The floodgates are opening, but fear is still holding people back. What am I talking about? Goliath Ventures, inundated. The floodgates have opened. People are now reaching out to us. What have you been waiting for is the message that we've been sending people. Something has shifted. Are people actually finally waking up? Have they started listening to the rumours? Have they started trusting even Danny DeHeck, the guy that started whistleblowing about this back in September the 1st, 2025? Over the last few weeks, people have started reaching out in droves about Goliath Ventures Inc. Not quietly, not cautiously, but urgently. The messages are no longer casual questions. Hi, how you going? Have you got some news on the latest? They are confessions, timelines, screenshots, contracts, and in some cases, stories involving six-figure incomes, broken families, and personal relationships that were levered to extract money. And yet, despite everything, many of these same people are still asking to remain anonymous, staying quiet, keeping silent, or wait and see. What are you waiting for? That contradiction is becoming impossible to ignore. I am genuinely struggling to understand how someone can have $100,000 stolen from them or more I'm reading this and I'm thinking, you guys have been stolen from. We've got the people that we're about to mention are all squandering your money like it's water. It's quite hard to actually process this. I'm going to read the next part so I don't get it wrong.
No, it was done through deception and still hope for a private solution.
That's what I wanted to say. This is not a bad investment opportunity. This is too good to be true. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8% promise per month return on your investment. This is total deception. There's no such thing as a 8% return, a 3% per month on your money. And they have deceived you. They have lied to you. And they are claiming that they're in the same boat as you. So I want to give you some of the information. So I'm going to have to read some of this because I've had this written, but I had it written because I didn't want to lose some of the clout it has when these words are read out loud.
Information that will magically reverse what has already happened. There is no band-aid for this.
Yeah, so you're not going to get a reversal on everything that's bad is happening. All the promises on October, November, December, and we're on the 20th of January. The end of January promise. Christopher spent $150,000 going to Thailand just last week. They've even refunded somebody in the last 10 days because they were going to whistleblow. And you guys are sitting here waiting for some brave individual to come out and whistleblow. Now, an interesting email I did get this morning, somebody wanted to know about the court case. There is no court case. I live in New Zealand, people. Do a search. Can an American company sue a New Zealander for what? No, is the answer to that question. They have filed a case in Orange County courts. You can look it up, search for my name, and you'll find the documents. The only reason they've done that is to intimidate people, you, for coming forward. Because you're not allowed to speak about your insured invested sum. There's no court case. There's no judge knocking on my door telling me that I need to appear in a courtroom. I live in New Zealand. Goliath Ventures have no jurisdiction over me whatsoever. They would have to file a case in the New Zealand High Court. How do I know this? Well, it's happened. 2.5 years ago, an individual, Stephen McCullough, I still can't get his last name right, tried to sue me in the New Zealand High Court for $3.8 million for defamation. He filed a discontinuance an hour and a half before the High Court judge picked up the file. 2 months later, that same High Court judge reviewed the whole case and gave us his, the verdict. And he ordered Stephen McCullough, which they don't normally do, funny enough, to pay all my legal fees. But he never did because he's an American citizen. Because in New Zealand, we don't have jurisdiction over Americans. And Americans don't have jurisdiction over me. So there is no court case. Did Danny DeHeck freeze the bank accounts for Goliath Ventures Inc.? No, he didn't. The Bank of America froze the bank account after I reached out to them through my networks explaining what was going on. They read the information on my blog and they froze the Bank of America account. Now, there was a guy there who helped us a little bit, but didn't want to tell us the bank account he paid the money into. But through the timestamps, we managed to find it without his help, and we've actually frozen his $250,000. Now he's wrote back to us on his terms. He wants to talk to us on his terms so he can see about getting his $250,000 back. Well, that doesn't work that way. He would have been better to spill the beans to us and give us the information that we required. Snap, snap, snap. Now. Stop fluffing around and stop whispering around and start acting like a bull in a china shop. If you want your money back or any chance of getting your money back, you need to act now. It's not rocket science. Just thought I'd let you know that. So I'm a bit disappointed in the inquiries. I'm amazed with the amount of inquiries we're getting, but I'm amazed that you guys are so far behind the 8 ball. Why aren't you doing something about your money? The minimum investment last year was $100,000, and you were guaranteed, with insurance, to get 3% return on your money. You signed a contract that said that any time you could ask for your money back. They are in breach of your contract. We are getting people back who have requested their money out in December and still haven't got it. You're in breach of your contract. A couple of videos ago, I told you how to contact their lawyers. And right now, I have seen a lawyer's letter go off to the right people, to Chris's lawyers, and demand to get your money back. Good on you. And you're doing that without my help and just a little bit of my guidance. What do you think I'm doing this for? Sensationalism? Really? Oh my God, I was brought up in a religious cult. I just got off the phone before I went live, and we're currently trying to get somebody out of a predicament they've put themselves into because of the religion I was brought up in. And I'm now, because what I've learned about the court system, I'm now filing court papers myself to help people. I'm going to become a lawyer. But don't let, good sound shoulders that your mum and dad would have taught you that if you invested $100,000 into an investment opportunity that was guaranteed, insured, and you had a contract, and all of a sudden the money stops. They stop paying you back with your money. I'm sorry, they are. And now is the time to do something. Stop sitting on your hands. Well, the more of these videos I do, the more inquiries I get. Thank you for trusting me and my Avengers. We don't get paid for this. There's no secret hidden agenda. The lawsuit that they claimed that they were actually doing against me, the purpose of that there was to intimidate people not to come forward. 2 people that they have filed, what do they call it? They have subpoenaed to go to court. Both those people were investors in Goliath Ventures. They received all their money back, apparently. And now they are the 2 people that they have summoned to go to court. And we're going to do a disposition, whatever it's called, not sure. But I haven't been summoned by anybody to go to court because there's no court case. They have no jurisdiction over me. This is like a witch hunt. And it's quite interesting watching these lawyers do it. So go to those same lawyers and ask for your money back. That's all I'm saying. This is so stupid that you guys aren't asking for your money back. You've signed a contract. They're in breach of the contract. You can ask for your money back. Your money's meant to come back in 5 to 7 days. And if it doesn't, they're in breach of the contract. Now, if you're a person of influence and they're scared that you're going to blow the skyrocket, you'll get your money back. So don't sit here and wait to see what happens. Right. Now, the common thread in every new inquiry that I'm getting, and what I am now seeing, there's a very clear pattern. Many of the people reaching out today were introduced to Goliath by individuals who were publicly promoted as leaders, directors, or partner services within the company, people who have since been scrubbed from the website. So this is the funny thing. Distancing themselves or quietly disappeared. So let me get this right. The person that introduced you to Goliath Ventures, who's still feeding you information, trying to calm the farm, has been removed from Goliath Ventures' website. And you, I don't even know how to do this. So you are still corresponding with the person. They've been removed from Goliath Ventures' website. 4 people have been removed from the website. Other people are still listed on the website, but we know that they have distanced themselves from Goliath Ventures. You're still corresponding with them. And with the correspondence we're getting, they're no longer associated. Piers Curry, Matt Burks, Jason Newton. What else we got here? James Diago, Chris's brother. Yeah. Adam. Vince Garetta, Tomo, Casey Holiday. All these names are for people who have prominent positions, but the inquiries that we're getting from people telling me that they have got a contract with, and these people that I've mentioned have signed it off. It's crazy because if there's nothing wrong with Goliath Ventures Inc., and this is a fantastic company that can guarantee 3 to 8% return on your investment per month, and it's insured. And we're just waiting for the auditor to come back and give us an audit report. The auditor's theoretically frozen the money in the company. Danny DeHeck, which he hasn't, has frozen the bank account, which I haven't. The Bank of America has frozen the bank account. I just gave them the information they needed to review the bank account, and then red lights started going off. And then they said, we're going to stop this bank account, and managed to lock in some people's money. So all these things have happened. But this company can hold a $5 million event on the 10th or the 12th of December to celebrate how well they're doing. But in the meantime, everyone's retreating and all the investors are sitting there and waiting. Waiting. Are you shitting me? What are you waiting for? Keep reaching out to me. I mean, every day I get more and more inquiries, and it makes me laugh. This person's been watching all my videos. Well, watch this one. Wake up. Go hire a lawyer. Go to a financial advisor. Show them the contract that you have signed. Ask them if it's still valid, because on the 3rd of September 2025, Goliath Ventures shut down their company in Florida. On the 3rd of September, or speak slowly, 2025, Goliath Ventures shut down their company. Oh, Danny, didn't you know they reopened in Wyoming? Every scam that I investigate has a company registered in Wyoming. It means shit. Do you know why they like having companies registered in Wyoming? Because it's so slack, it's so easy to do. The jurisdiction is just, so wake up. So your contract, what company did you sign that up with? Goliath Ventures? Oh yeah, Florida? Yeah, so it's not worth the paper it's printed on now. And you're still going to wait? Right, these are the list. The list includes senior figures and regional operators who actively promoted Goliath Ventures, collected funds, and acted as intermediaries. What's that word called? Intermediaries. So these are the people that have set up their own company under the umbrella, theoretically, invisible umbrella of Goliath Ventures. Now, Christopher, just been to Thailand, spent $150,000 on a 3-day excursion. He was going to some concert there. It's crazy. So these are all the names of the people that I have seen scrubbed from the website. And I'm going to read them out because I can't pronounce their last names, and hopefully AI will, whatever this thing that reads out, is better than me.
Chris Delgado, Chief Executive Officer, CEO. Matthew Malcolms, Chief Compliance Officer. Nick Petrillo, Chief Operating Officer. COO. Jason J. Newton. Alex Buchello, Chief of Staff. Matt Burks, Head of Compliance. Piers Curry, A Financial Nothing. Michael Hernandez, Director of Operations. James Delgado, Business Program Manager. David Panzik, Partner Relations Stephen Davis, Director of Administration Hunters Malback, Executive Assistant Mike Chmielewski, Director of Partner Services Adam Kristen, Admin Vince Gratta, Director of Partner Services Tomo Marjanovic, Director of Partner Services Casey Holiday, Director of Partner Services Punit Shah, Director of Partner Services Marty Berthelmer, Director of Partner Services.
Right. So what is critical to understand is even if some of these individuals now claim they are no longer involved, their past actions still matter. People are coming forward now because they were introduced through these channels. Often these personal relationships, often through personal relationships, family connections, or trusted relationships. The correspondence we are receiving is no longer theoretical. It includes, this is the sort of stuff, parents investing through their children's names at the request of the sponsor. So some of these people have been encouraging people to use their children's names to invest. This is from the partners, from the executive teams. I can't believe this shit. Since when does a legitimate company tell you to do it? Oh, hi, Danny. It might be a good idea if you actually invest through Pixel, your dog's name rather than yours. Okay, well, that sounds legit. That's what they've been telling people, stuff like that. Promised 5 or 8% or higher monthly returns. So sudden, some people have actually been telling us that they were small investors, $30,000, $40,000, and then all of a sudden they were told that they had to increase the investment up to $100,000, and then thereafter no longer would they be getting the 5% return on investment, but they would actually have to top it up to 100 or get kicked out. And that's where a lot of them were telling people to pool their money together, even though they were told not to do that. Grandfathering promises that never materialize. Accounts transferred from one account to another without proper authorization. Now you're going to be sweating because you did that. Exit request acknowledged, then ignored. So, oh yes, you want your money out? People in December especially have been asking for their money back. And now they've said, yep, no worries. And you're in breach of your contract there, Goliath Ventures. But now they're ignoring everyone's withdrawal request. And you guys are sitting there on your hands waiting for what? Dashboards closed after termination request. So there you go. This is what happened. Remember we said we went through 17 accounts and we found them all shut down. So as soon as you request your withdrawal from the company, you don't get your money, but you get your account shut down and frozen. So you have no access to previous correspondence with Goliath Ventures. They shut your account down. It's like, come on, guys, work this out. Really, do you want to read about this on Netflix or on in the court documents? And you go, oh, I was invested in that. I lost $200,000. That guy, Danny, told me I should reach out to him so he can put a case together for the men that are investigating this and actually go after Goliath. Or they told me that Danny DeHeck has got a court case pending. Well, do your research. Go to ChatGPT and ask it if a court case has any clout that is lodged in Florida against a New Zealand citizen. And do your research, for God's sake. Stop giving me these lame excuses. We're going after that guy. What are they going to do, guys? I've got no money. I've got nothing. And they're accusing me of some sort of witch hunt. They're going to sue me and all my money's going to go pay you? What? What are they doing? What are they claiming? This can't make this shit up. And you guys are like puppets on a string and you're buying this stuff. These guys that introduced you to Goliath Ventures should be your enemy. I should be your best friend. Okay. In one case, an investor was told to Google what MSB is because he's not their legal counsel. I love that one. This is just some of the snippets I'm getting. That's not transparency. That is deflection. And the most alarming part, some investors are still being told there is a lawsuit against me, used as a convenient excuse for why payments stopped. Oh, that's why. I didn't know. Yeah, once you get the money from Danny DeHeck, we can resume payments. Or once we get the audit done, We will start money flowing again. Oh, once Chris stops spending money like it's water. Did I show you what we had today? This is the floodgates are opening. And there's Christopher in his pink Flamingo celebrating. He's just spent $150,000 on tickets to go to this concert in Thailand just last week. Got on his plane, probably his private jet, left Dubai, went to what do they call that place? Thailand. Had a great time. Front row seats, apparently. Oh, he's living the dream on your dime. Crazy, isn't it? Anyway, just thought I'd throw that extra bit in there. So there's no such lawsuit. That narrative exists for only one reason, to buy time and silence. They want you to shut up. They want you to think, if I open my mouth, I could be in a lawsuit against Goliath. Well, wouldn't that be good? You'd get your money back then, wouldn't you? Because you'd just be able to show them the contract. You'd just be able to get your contract and say, well, they were in breach of contract. I requested my money out in December and I haven't received my funds back. So I'm just here saying that. Oh, we're going to take him to court. We're going to take him to court because we're in breach of his contract. Get your contract. Take it to anybody. Take it to a 5-year-old at a kindergarten centre and say, do you think I've got a case here? I invested $100,000 with Goliath Ventures. They told me they're going to give me $3,000 back every month consistently. I received a letter on the 2nd of December from management telling me that payments were going to resume between the 15th and 18th of December. And they were going to do October, and I was surprised when they went back to October, November and December catch-ups. And all withdrawals are going to be back to normal. That's the letter you want to take to your lawyer. And you want to file it with the lawyers that theoretically have put in a bogus lawsuit against me. Now, I'm here. You can touch me if you want. I'm here. I'm trapped inside the computer. But you can use my words. Look, my lips. Hello. There's no court case against Danny D. Hick. And also, I didn't freeze their bank accounts. The Bank of America froze their bank accounts. Okay. And I don't know the audit company, do you? So what are you waiting for? Anyway, I'm always protecting identities. Now, what about why anonymous, why anonymity? Can't even say that word. I'm not very good at this today.
Why anonymity without action helps no one.
Yeah, I know. You want to have it both ways. You want to invest $100,000, get 3% return per month. Then you want to realize that you've lost all the money, and then you want to come to me secretly like a wee mouse. I've lost all my money, Danny. Don't tell anyone. It's a wee secret. I don't want people to know it was me who gave them $100,000. I'm a bit embarrassed. Look, I'm not. I can do a little bit, but when I go to let's use the feds, I want to put together a good case. And you'll have to trust me. Did you trust the guy that got you into Goliath Ventures? Did you? Well, trust me, I don't really want to broadcast your name. Why the hell would I want to broadcast your name as an investor to the world? Jimmy the Cricket invested $100,000 and he lost the lot. What sort of YouTube guy would want to do that to somebody who confides in them? I don't want to do that. I always protect your identities publicly unless someone explicitly asks to go on record, which is really good when they do. That is not negotiable. I'm not going to burn the bridge. I've got people who have told me one guy has invested over $200,000, lost the lot, and he's now acting on everything I say. Awesome. That's what I want. I put together a case. The investigators have phoned him. The investigators have emailed him a follow-up, and that is what I want to happen. And I want to help you do the same. But rather than me, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to give you the email addresses and the phone number of the investigators because you are thinking about you and you're just going to bombard them with too much paperwork. I know how these guys work. If I don't put something on an A4 piece of paper with your name, your address, your phone number, the date you invested, how much money you lost, a copy of your contract on this link, and I make a really nice, neat bundle, they won't even look at it because they're too busy. So they need it presented in a nice wee lunchbox size. Here's a person that's invested and this is their story. You can do what you like with it. I'm backing out. Then they will take over my correspondence with you. I'm only trying to help you because I know that I have spent hours and hours and hours reporting, talking. I've been in Zoom, Microsoft Team meetings with government agencies, with Goliath Ventures. I know how they work. The first meeting I got, they said, we cannot believe the amount of information that you guys, my Avengers, have collected on Goliath Ventures. I've got about 140 profiles now of people that have either been promoting or invested in Goliath Ventures. I also have a secret database of all those people who have told me stuff. No one knows about that. No one gets access to that except me. And I put it there and I build information. As soon as somebody reaches out to me, I had somebody reach out today and I said, oh, Vince is the person that introduced you to it, isn't he? Because he's ashamed that he was involved with Goliath Ventures. He's really embarrassed because I know people who know him personally. And I go, yes, but you're still hoping to get your money through him, but now he's removed himself from the company. Investigators cannot act on hopes, rumors, screenshots without context. I'll tell you later. They can't operate anything. You cannot talk to people and say, I'll tell you later. I'm talking to I'm just going to say FBI because that's who I'm used to talking to. Not in this case, but normally. The FBI are involved, but not with me directly. Anyway, so I'm going to be talking to the FBI and they're going to be saying, right, we've only got half an hour for this meeting. Right, tell me this, and I'll go, I'll tell you that later. Judge Judy will have a field day with that comment. Waiting for a miracle payment window? Really? Really? You're really waiting for that to happen? So, Chris, $5 million on an event on the 12th of December, and you're waiting for a payment window? Now, he just spent $150,000 going to Thailand, got himself a couple of apartments in Dubai, 5 houses in Florida, $4 million worth of car collection. This guy had nothing a wee while ago. And now you're waiting for a miracle payout window. Right now, I can tell you Chris will be stuffing that money into crypto wallets all around the world for when he comes out of prison, he'll be lighting them up again. He'll be making sure that his wealth is protected. He's using your money to build his legacy. Isn't that just awesome? And you want to tread quietly. Don't crack the eggshells. Okay, so what they do need and what we are asking for is a structured, minimal, relevant evidence bundled properly so authorities are not overwhelmed with noise. That's all they want. Now, I've been a bit noisy, a bit strange today because I'm a bit fed up with people whispering. Now, I've got a loud mouth and I'm quite happy to talk to the guys that are going to look after you. You can talk quietly and between the cracks. It's like being in a 2-story house and there's cracks in the floorboard and somebody's whispering through the cracks. I've been scammed. I put in $200,000 to Goliath and I think I've lost a lot. I'm still waiting. And I'm going, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? I go, I don't know what I'm waiting for. Okay, well, why don't you start telling me stuff? Why give me dribs and... I've actually gone back to people and said, I'm not going to give you a dribs and drab. I don't want dribs. I ain't got time for a conversation. And, hey, I realise you've lost you've lost all your money and it's dramatic. And I'm going, it's real bad. I know, it's real bad, but I ain't got time for it. I don't get money for this. I should be working. Even right now, I should be working, doing my drop shipping, but I'm not. I'm still trying to convince people to friggin' open their mouths and speak. Just saying. Anyway. Right. So, Susie's mentioned a good little point here. I think I'm doing God's work. Well, I don't know if God's into investing, but hopefully not. Susie said, who is the owner of Goliath's offices dress? So there's a company that's on the ownership of the buildings that theoretically Christopher owns. Now, if you haven't been keeping up with that, I better show you. But this is quite funny. Oh, it's not funny. I'm not being funny, but I've got to keep some sort of humor about this. So here, oh, look at this. Oh, 1.2, look, Simon, ex-FBI guy. Such a crack up, man. You have to go watch that short. But anyway, that's not bad, 1.2K views. So this is Christopher. Okay, so we're gonna play this.
Invested $8.5 million in downtown Orlando, purchasing almost 13,000.
So here, this is Christopher showing off. This video went online for 4 hours and then it was removed. On this video, he was gloating about his offices. We received videos of his offices on the 14th of January, just taken, and nothing has started. So he did a big pronounce. But now what we want to know is who's the company that owns the offices, because that's going to be the funny thing. Because here he is talking to everyone about their new global headquarters. No construction ever took place. Another $8.5 million has gone wasted with promises of an awesome HQ, even on the cover of Home and Decor magazine, whatever that is. And there he is, the man about town. But now things are changing. He's in this. He's in the floodgates have opened onto Chris, and he's in there with his pink Flamingo. And he's having a time with his Rolex, his Ferrari, and he's just living the dream. But not on my watch, guys. Not on my watch. What, you really, really, really think that he should just carry on? So you waiting for what? Is embarrassment? No one ever died of embarrassment. I don't think they have. Okay, what you need. Right, so what do we need from anyone coming forward? If you want help, real help, this is what matters, right? You got your pen and paper out? Who is your sponsor? Okay, is that so tricky? Your sponsor could be a family friend, and that's okay, because I'm sure they're really sorry. I'm sorry, that's not funny. Who is your sponsor? Come on, spit it out. Okay, how long were you associated with Goliath? Ooh, well, I put $100,000 in and I was in for a year. I was actually receiving $5,000 a month, and I took some dividends out. So I actually took out $26,000 of my own money. All right. So you now think you're owed $126,000. No. I took $26,000 out, but I want my $100,000 back. Oh, hold it a minute. You want your 76,000. Is that right? You don't want to take out more money than you put in. You are not entitled to take out any money other than what you put in. So if you put 100,000 in and you think that you're entitled to more, look, I just want to save you a lot of bother. You can tell us whatever. Tell us you put $100,000 in. Tell us you took out $50,000 worth of dividends. Tell us you're out of pocket $50,000. Fine. But don't tell us you're out $150,000 because we know that's not right. That money is not yours because your contract's worth shit. Just saying. But we do like to know how long you were associated with Goliath, because that makes a difference. Because people that were associated before February 2025 were actually receiving 5% dividends. And that makes it easier for us to figure out. What percentage were you promised? That's why I'm asking. How much you invested and when? We want to know, did you put the money into a JP Morgan bank account? Because that bank account's been shut down too. Did you put it into the Bank of America bank account? And if so, we would like to know which one, because there's 2 accounts. We've shut down 2 accounts. Or did you pay with crypto? And if so, we would love to know the address, because every crypto address that we get, there's no real money in there. And this is so stupid because it was from their crypto company. They're claiming that they're doing mining. There's no mining. There's no mining anywhere. There's nothing there. Let's fix that clock. There's no proof of any mining. We have heard niggles of them negotiating to do some mining at one stage, but that never started. So now they've made all that money from liquidity pool trades, pancake swaps. If you do research on that, it's mathematically impossible to generate the returns that they claim they are. And all the investments that you see on Goliath Ventures website, that Christopher, their acquisition portfolio, were actually Chris's personal acquisitions, not Goliath's. Also, if you go to Goliath Ventures website and you click on the team, each of those companies in that team aren't actually working for Chris. They are represented as a sales team. They all have their own LLC companies. That's pretty big news, isn't it? So technically speaking, they did that to create a legal barrier, which means if you're going to sue anybody, you sue your sponsor. And then they can sue Christopher. It's so crazy. All right. How much did you invest and when? Proof of payment. Bank, wire, or crypto. Let us know. Contracts. Oh, please give us the contracts. They all look the same. They've all been done probably with ChatGPT. I think they had it back then. Exit agreements. Well, they are really funny because, yes, no worries, you've been approved, and they shut your account down. You can't access. As soon as you ask for you fill out the exit agreement, they will acknowledge it, and then they close your account down, and you're literally being cut off the Titanic. So imagine the Titanic's going down, all the music's playing, and the ship's getting lower and lower, and you manage to get yourself onto a life raft and say, I want off, and you're on the life raft, and they just cut you off. They just shut you off. You can't see the Titanic anymore. You can hear all the people yelling in the background, but that's what they'll do, and that's what they've done. We've proved it. They are closing people's accounts down without giving their money back. Written communication, that's what we want. So look, we want to know who your sponsor is, how long you're associated with Goliath, what percentage you were promised, how much you invested and when, proof of the payment, contracts, dashboard, exit agreements, written communications, emails, WhatsApp, Telegram. Screenshot the whole lot, give it to us, we'll put it into a bundle, and we'll give it to the men that can get these bastards off the streets. We'll take them out of their Ferraris. We'll take them out of their Lamborghinis. We'll take them out of their Rolls Royces. We'll pull them out of their condos in Dubai. We will do what we need to do, but we can't do that unless you give us the information. And now I'm starting to get overwhelmed. The floodgates are pouring in. People are now coming to us. You're a little bit too late to the party, but we still want to have a party with you. So that's it. No speculation, no theories, just the facts. We will bundle this up, strip out the relevant details not to overwhelm the men in black, and present it clearly so investigators can do their job properly. I will not simply hand out investigation contract details and let people flood them. So I'm not going to hand out our investigators' contact details and let people flood them with half-formed theories and emotion. It's just the facts that we want to present them. This is the moment for fence sitters. This is the moment for fence sitters. If you are reading and thinking, I don't want my name out there, well, it's not going to go out there, guys. I'm not publicizing your name. If you're worried about somebody official knowing your name who's investigating one of the largest Ponzi scheme scams in America, it's not relevant. They don't really care who you are. I'm just saying. I'm hoping January fixes it. Oh, please don't say that. It just about makes it's like carving my heart out with a wooden spoon. When people say to me, I'm hoping that January fixes it. Are you hoping that October fixes it? Are you hoping that November fixes it? Were you hoping that just before they spent $5 million on a celebration event, were you hoping that December fixes it? And now you're telling me, and this is literally what I'm getting people, I'm hoping January fixes it. Come on, wake up. Slap, 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 slap. Wake up. Okay? And maybe they'll still pay. Maybe the flying cows will start going over the moon. You got to act now. Ask yourself one question. If this was legitimate, why are so many people suddenly disappearing? And I'm talking about the people on the website. Have you decided to ring up Goliath Ventures? We did it the other day. I wish I could play the phone call. We did it the other day, and they wouldn't take any questions. They wouldn't do anything. They want to know who our sponsor is, and they're passing the hot potato. And why are payments still happening? Okay, now you might think, what did Danny just say then? Yes, some people in the last 10 days have received back their investment in full because they threaten to go public. Are you threatening to go public, or are you waiting to see what happens? Maybe end of February, maybe. People are finally speaking up. Thank you to those brave people that are speaking to us. And notice I said their names earlier on. No, I didn't. And I'm not going to do that. I work for the investors free of charge. But the outcome of this depends on how many people are willing to move from fear to facts. If you want this documented properly, this is the time. Silence protects only one side of the story. Yeah. So hopefully that wasn't too charismatic, and hopefully I made a difference. But I did actually write a description for this YouTube video, and I think it would only be fair for me to read it, because I actually thought this description for the YouTube video was actually better than my introduction. But listen to this, kids.
The last few weeks have been different, not louder, not more dramatic, just heavier. My inbox has shifted from casual questions to detailed confessions. People who stayed silent for months are now reaching out, often late at night, often shaken, finally realizing that what they were promised is not coming back. The floodgates didn't burst all at once, they cracked, and now the water is rushing through.
Yeah, the water hasn't trickled over the top of the dam. It's, excuse the pink flamingo, but the water's coming out the cracks. Chris is having a good old time, and it is the late night emails I get. And I know I'm in New Zealand, but I can see that people are, desperately concerned. They've mortgaged their house. They were using the money, the dividends, to pay their mortgage. This is how stupid this scam is. People were mortgaging their houses using the dividend money that they were receiving to pay the mortgage. And now the dividend money has stopped and they've still got the mortgage. Can you imagine what that does to somebody? The silence before the break. And this is what I want you guys to listen to.
For months, investors were told to wait, banking delays, audits, MSB approvals, the same phrases repeated until they lost all meaning. People clung to hope because hope was easier than accepting that trusted friends, sponsors, and directors may have played a role in what was happening. Silence became a coping mechanism. If you didn't ask too many questions, maybe the payments would resume.
I had a phone call with one individual and they were emotionally hugging me just by talking to them. It's destroyed their family. That person was threatened by the family with all sorts of things. And it was one of the most I don't know if emotional was the right word, but it was a very hard conversation to listen to. And then the person actually finished up ghosting us because the family put far too much pressure on them. And I can only imagine, because this is why I do what I do. These people go after friends and family to encourage them to invest. And when it all falls apart, these Ponzi schemes and scams I find are relationship destroyers. They kill families. I mean, I can't even tell you what I want to tell you, because there's some families which are no longer speaking to each other. For over 12 months, some family members are not speaking to each other because of what this Goliath Ventures has done to their family. I mean, hopefully we can build those bridges back after people realize. So the faster we get this nipped in the butt, the sooner we can build those relationships back that we need in our lives.
What stands out now is how many people entered Goliath through personal relationships, family friends, romantic partners, long-time acquaintances. Sponsors weren't strangers, they were people you trusted enough to hand over life-changing sums of money. Many of those same names have since vanished from the website, scrubbed from public association, quietly stepping away while investors were left exposed.
Yeah, it does make me laugh, really. I mean, people accuse me of all sorts of things, and one of the ones they do think I'm doing is profiteering from this. I think from the whole Goliath Ventures thing, I've probably brought in around about $2,500, maybe $3,000 of donations, not for Goliath, but people that have donated me over the last 3 months. I probably make around about $10,000 if I'm lucky a year from all my YouTube activities. And that's New Zealand dollars, by the way. So it's 6,000 US dollars. But, the money that these people have invested, every time I get an email, $200,000+. One today was 115. There's another one, 170 odd thousand. And then I get Goliath Ventures say that Danny's just a YouTuber and he's doing it for clicks. And I go, oh, low-hanging insults.
The stories follow a familiar pattern. Initial investments at manageable levels, promised percentages that sounded sustainable, until they weren't. Minimums raised without warning. Grandfathered exceptions that never materialized. Accounts shifted between names. Percentages reduced. Exit requests acknowledged, then ignored. And always, the reassurance that this was temporary.
Yeah, that's what you've been told. This is temporary. And how many times do they move the goalpost? You know, you've put in an exit agreement and they've turned off your Goliath Ventures account. Why? Why would they do that without returning the money? I can sort of understand if you go to a bank and you withdraw all your money and you want to close down their account, but I'm pretty sure you can go back to the bank and ask for a statement. So I'm sorry if that's happened to you, but why would they do that? The MSB excuse, and this one here makes us really laugh, and just because I can, I've now saved a shortcut. So if you don't know what a MSB is, don't search Google. You can read it here. It tells you that fraudsters are using Financial Crime Enforcement Network, FinCEN, money services, MSB registration process to defraud the public. You should not trust a company only because it's listed on this webpage. Fraudsters are attempting to steal money by claiming to be MSB approved or endorsed by FinCEN. These criminals mislead people by telling them it's safe to send funds or invest in a business simply because it's listed on FinCEN MSB registration search website. FinCEN does not approve or endorse any business that has registered as a MSB. Any such claim and similar claims are false and may be part of a scam. Right, that's posted on FinCEN.gov. Here, they're telling everybody payouts have stopped completely. A new phase entered in the conversation. MSB. For many investors, it was the first time they've ever heard of it. They got told to search Google for the meaning of it. The questions were brushed off. Google it. Legal can't explain. They're not. What should have been transparent became deflection. The excuse was designed to inform. It wasn't designed to inform. It was designed to stall people from speaking out. You're playing the waiting game. Please don't wait anymore. You're killing me. Okay, let's have this one.
As most people waited, a few quietly got paid, not because of contracts, but because of proximity, influence, or silence. This is where hope turns to anger. When one person gets their principal back while others are told to be patient, the illusion of fairness collapses. Selective payouts are not a sign of stability, they're a sign of triage.
Isn't that amazing? So some people are getting paid out. In the last week, someone has been paid out. Now, I've just got a message from one of our people in the chat room. Joshua, nice to see you here. If you go to deheck.com, you can read all about me. That's me without a beard. Click on about. I'm using the beard to hide my identity in case I get in trouble again. You can come down here and you can read about my early days, how I was a painter and a decorator. But right down here, it talks about how I started Christchurch's first internet cafe, how I love to travel, been to 35 countries, do a bit of street photography, did some a couple of days, how I used to own a business networking company, how I transformed from being a podcaster to a YouTuber, how I got called the crypto Ponzi scheme Avenger, how I do drop shipping, how I survive. And in here somewhere, I think I mentioned that I was brought up as a Jehovah's Witness, and that was the religious cult. If not, you can actually go here and search for Jehovah's Witness. And I think I'll have maybe Jehovah Witness. There should be. There it is. Queensman, Jehovah's exposed in the watchtower. All right, and this is my story here, which I'll put in the chat room. There I am dressed up, knocking on people's doors. So I used to knock on people's doors 60 hours a month for a wee while. I was a auxiliary pioneer. And in here, it's a pretty raw story, escaping suicide and the Jehovah's Witness cult. Why I fought for the scammed and shunned. There's my whole story there, and it is a pretty rough story. Unfortunately, my sister and my stepfather couldn't live up to the expectations of the Jehovah's Witness organization, and they they died by suicide, which is pretty sad. And just recently, I did actually write a story about how I visited I visited where my sister spent a lot of her time. Where is it? Queens. Yeah, it's returning to Queens Mary Hospital. And this is me with my camera and my dog. And that was a picture of my sister. Now, just the other day, I rode my electric scooter and visited where my sister was sitting right there on that rock. It means a lot to me. I did do a video here walking through this old hospital, but I basically talked about what impact that had on my life. Now, when I first started busting scams, an organisation reached out to me, a whistleblower organisation, telling me that they had researched that 11 people had died by suicide who were involved in an investment scam because they lost everything. And that's kind of my why, really. That's why I started doing these scams, investigations, exposing these people, and taking risks that other people probably aren't prepared to do. I had 6 lawsuits last year. I won the first one so far, and the other 5 are still pending. Selective payouts is what we just read, and keeping it anonymous. I get it. You want to be anonymous. You want to invest. You want 3% return on your money. You've lost all your money, and now you want to somehow secretly get it back. Sometimes you need to put your big girl or big boy trousers on. I'm not here to whistleblow you, and I think that's the thing I get the most from people is telling me that they're worried I'm going to broadcast their name over the internet. Why would I do that? So don't worry about that. I don't do that. And I've got 135 people on my persons of interest list. These aren't people who have reached out to me because I've lost money. These are people that are actively involved in promoting this. Okay, so let's have a listen to this one.
Almost everyone asks the same thing. Can this stay private? I understand the fear, but anonymity without action only protects the people who caused the damage. Investigators don't act on feelings or fragments. They act on paper trails, contracts, transfers, messages, timelines. Silence doesn't reduce harm, it concentrates it.
Yeah, so come on, tell me what you've got. Give it to me. I'll respect it. It's always interesting. Sometimes I already have your details.
The human cost. Behind every email is a family argument, a relationship strained, a retirement plan quietly erased. These are not reckless gamblers. They're ordinary people who trusted someone they knew. The shame keeps them quiet longer than it should, and that delay is exactly what allows these schemes to keep breathing.
Yeah. This is the point where outcomes are decided. Not by promises, not by evidence, not by waiting, but by documenting what actually happened. The floodgates are now open because too many people are seeing the same pattern at the same time. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Christopher is a scammer. He is a bottom feeder on the planet. He is having the time of his life. Now, I heard from someone who recently met him and said he doesn't have a care in the world. I can't repeat what else he said. He thinks that he's protected by some government. He didn't have a care in the world. Do you care? Why don't you want to fight back and do something about this individual here? That's what I want to do. I haven't invested in any scams ever. I've never invested and lost money in any investment scam. I'm not a bitter investment. I'm not a dream stealer. Just want you guys to wake up. Now, if you are on my website, you can support me if you like. Donations are very much welcomed right now. You can buy me a $5 cup of coffee if you really love me. If you don't, that's okay. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel. I even have a button that pops up on the screen that looks like you can subscribe. Look at this. Look at that. Hit the bell. Nearly got it right. And the other thing that you do is I always like to tell people that I will get Sadie, the cleaning lady. She gets absolutely nothing, by the way. She does it out of love. She will clean your screen if you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you very much, Sadie. However, when you go to Goliath Ventures and you click on that link onto heck.com, I often tell people you can get the latest. So yesterday, we did a video about what I'm calling a fake FBI agent, which is quite cool. But go have a listen to that video, and that's the first part of the video. We gave you some updates, and I'm trying to do a video every day, which I can't, but I'm trying to do a video of all the updates on Goliath Ventures every day. Here, we found a lovely picture of Christopher. Look at that. That's Christopher. Why is that doing that? Hold up. There we go. Christopher. That was before he went to Jenny Craig's. But he's now hired Alex as his personal trainer. He's driving around in a Lamborghini, by the way. You paid for it. Thank you very much, he says. And you can see we've gone into Chris's building. Now, I think Susie put the address, there it is, the company. So if you have a look at the top of the screen now, you will see the name of the company that purchased the building that Christopher claims he owns. But we don't know who this company is. So if you know anything about this company or any of its dealings, please do let us know. But here's Christopher promising that he's going to make some sort of nightclub, jacuzzi sort of headquarters for Goliath Ventures when he was spending most of his time in the London club. But no, nothing's happened. It's just, but we did a video about that. And then down here, this video was showing people how they actually closed the doors in their to the back end of their office. So once we started telling people that we had access to the back end of Goliath Ventures' investment portfolio, they are now closing down people's accounts that are asking to exit, trying to, what they call that is push everything under the carpet. But if you come to this blog here, you can actually see all the latest information. We originally thought that they were associated with Carl Moon somehow. Then we found out that Chris had something to do with advertising, and they did a marketing campaign for Carl Moon. We've got photos here of Cash Patel and Chris shaking hands. He looks like he's best buddies there. And you come down here and you'll find other, the pictures of the cars that these guys have got. Lots of, this guy here has been corresponding with us. He's been sentenced to 2 years in prison, managed to evade that somehow and to go to Dubai. He's just recently got out of prison in Dubai. Now he's got his travel permit restricted. Nick's in here. So these are people that, there was another like-minded mirror scam called My Liquidity Partners, and Christopher and that scam were associated. So we're just saying put two and two together. But you can come through here and read all these, like even this morning we got some more intel about Romy here. Now Romy hangs out with the Alexander brothers, who have been accused of doing heinous acts to women, and then all of a sudden we hear rumors that we can't say out loud, but the Alexander brothers, if you search for the Alexander brothers, I've got photos of Romy arm in arm with them, and then we've got photos with Romy obviously going to Mykonos for a joyride with Christopher. So similar circles, read between the lines if you want. Jay Newton from Canada. We know that he's theoretically introduced $120 million to Goliath Ventures, but all of a sudden these guys, where are they now? Where are they? But anyway, why I'm showing you this one here is all these blogs. These we've done a series of 26 blogs exposing everything about Goliath Ventures. Probably the biggest, Hyperverse was probably the biggest one I ever did, but we've really gone to town at trying to warn people. And then all of a sudden, people are starting to listen, which is really nice. So thank you very much. My content that you see, I'm an investigative journalist. I use open source intelligence for everything that I research. My website's protected by a Google Project Shield. They protect websites that, it's a free service they offer for independent journalists, human rights organizations, and public interest websites from digital attacks. My website, when I first started reporting Goliath, was under digital attack for 2 months. I've had 10 copyright strikes since I've been reporting Christopher. They have filed a lawsuit in Florida in Orange County courts against me, but they have no jurisdiction. So there is no lawsuit against Danny DeHeck and Goliath Ventures because I've just filed one, but they don't have any jurisdiction over me. I live in New Zealand. I'm a Kiwi. And there's nothing been filed in our local courts. No one's served me any papers to appear before any judge. And what difference is it going to make if they do or don't? They're solely doing that to intimidate people from speaking up. So what are you guys? Are you going to, like when you look at, Christopher here, he's got 5 houses, happy families. He's been in the media. He's given to charities. I mean, he stood up in the White House on Fentanyl Day and pledged $2 million to Jackie Segal's charity. Pledged it, not paid it. Wonder if she's ever received that money. When they held their $5 million event in Wyoming on the 12th of December, they pledged that they would give donations. I think it was $500 or $600 to everybody that turned up. They would give a donation to charity. Everyone that turned up also received a $500 or $600 gift. They were putting people up in the hotel. The rooms are $1,000 a night there. They had Jason Derulo sing there. They had just amazing, all full out. We had, let's say we had people on the ground who managed to get in there and document it. And they were literally said they spared no expense. So that's kind of sad that, 3 days later, Christopher flew back to Dubai at this time when his company's funds are all frozen, and they're claiming silly, there's 3 things they're claiming. Danny DeHeck's frozen their bank account, Danny DeHeck's going to court, and MSB registration is holding them up. Oh, and the audit. That's right. And remember, the loss of $380 billion in one day in crypto had no effect. No, in fact, they held a webinar to calm the farm. It was promoted as a 45-minute long webinar that lasted 12 minutes. No one could ask any questions. No one could put their hands up. It was just like a sermon. And also, I did have some information on Matt Burke, which I thought was quite interesting, which I'll see if I can bring up, because I keep calling him a parish, and apparently that's not quite correct. So the Redemption Church is a church serving Lakeland, Florida. We exist to see every man, woman, and child in Lakeland. We exist to see every man, woman, and child in Lakeland and the world experience the gospel of Jesus. Ooh, scary for Danny. Matt Burke is an executive pastor at Redemption Church and is a partner of Burke's Financial Group, where he provides financial advising, business planning. He doesn't even have a FinCEN registration. There's nowhere we could find any registration of Matt Burke's. But anyway, so if you went to the Redemption Church now, he actually, it's quite funny. He's been scrubbed. We did this yesterday, but we'll have a wee look to see, because the pictures wouldn't load yesterday. They may have a different website today. If not, if you need some help, where's this? Oh, Redemption Church. They're everywhere. Let's go V, and we'll go Redemption Church staff leaders. Here we go. Lakeland. So it's redemptionlakeland.com. Meet our pastors and staff. So here we go. Oh, and look at that. Straight away, we get the old website. So this is actually out of interest. This is actually the old website. And down here, you'll see that Matt Burke's was there. But because we're using the Wayback Machine, it doesn't bring up the images. So even if I do not use the Wayback Machine, now we're going to see a different website. We are going to see Meet the Team. And here's all the lovely people, pastoral staff. And as you can come down here, you can see even now the images don't load. But there's no Matt Burke. He's been scrubbed. He's been scrubbed from the website. Even the church doesn't want anything to do with him. It's just crazy. So missionaries, kids, redemption. But let's have a look. We'll go to Facebook, Instagram. I'm going to just have a wee look at this. So the kids, there's no kids. No, happy family. I'm just having a look. I've never actually done this. Oh, wonder if there's anywhere here. Let's see if Matt Burke's in here anywhere. Matt Burke's. No, he's not there. He's not in the gospel community. Lakeland. Let's have a photos. Let's go in here. Remember, he's an executive member of the church. Can't see him here. Have they scrubbed him from the website? Why would a church scrub him from the website, do you think? That's as far as I go on that. Right, let's go Instagram. Looking for Matt Burks. He'll be here somewhere. Matt Burke, where are you? He's meant to be an executive something or other at the church. So we're bound to find Matt Burke in here somewhere. So a man of the cloth has come and stole hundreds of thousands of dollars from people. He's advised people to set up their own companies to form a legal barrier. Here he is. There he is, Matt Burks. Tuning our heart to God. So that guy has decided that he's going to not do God's work, but do his own work. But anyway, so maybe when I come back tomorrow, they may scrub him. Here he is again. There he is. Let's have a listen.
He came to suffer. He didn't come to take a throne. He came to climb a hill. And he certainly didn't come to meet expectations. He came to save, right? The need that we have, which was eternal salvation, Jesus came to meet. Pastor J.D. Greer.
I think he's not going to go to heaven. I think this guy's going to hell. But you can let us decide that. But anyway, so he's obviously still in there. Oh, here he is again. See what he's got to say.
Been divorced, who have experienced divorce. I would encourage you, receive healing, not shame. So in a message like today, it would be really easy to look at this and think, oof.
Wouldn't it be awesome, though, if you think you're running a scam and you thought we need good speakers? So why don't you hire, somebody from the church?
We go back. He says, if your brother sins against you, post about it on social media.
Excellent. Good words there, Matt. So you can sort of get the idea, but if you come through here, you can actually see this is 6 months ago.
Welcome to Redemption Church. My name is Matt. I have the privilege of being one of the pastors here. Welcome to everyone who is in person here in the room. Welcome to those who are joining us online today. I am so glad that you're with us. If you've been at Redemption for any period of time, you know that we like to walk through.
Oh, but you get the idea anyway, kids. So there's the Flamingo. Now we've got some exciting stuff about to happen, so we're going to change this into out too. But look, if you're sitting here on the fence and you're thinking, I don't know what I should do, please do reach out to me. In all seriousness, I'm here to help. I'm not going to broadcast your name everywhere. Everything's in confidence. If I go against my word, you can publicise the fact that Danny the Heck got my name and told everyone about me. I'm not that type of guy. I'm here to help investors. Stop sitting on your hands. The floodgates have opened. People are now reaching out to us. It's actually quite amazing. I've been doing this for 3 months. I work 70 to 80 hours a week busting these scammers. And now the floodgates have opened. And we want you to reach out to us. We're here to help you. So help yourself. Let's see what we can do. And let's hold these people accountable that have stolen your money. We'll see you in the next video, guys. Thanks for watching.